Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 863. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Connor Farley. What's up, Connor?
Hello.
All right, so, again, everybody knows, and you know too, Connor, that my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. The reason why I wasn't the first one to do a video on it was that I was working and planning on doing a holiday party at work with a whole bunch of people, and it was a massive success, and I got home like midnight and was too tired to do any podcast or anything. At midnight, I saw the trailer and loved it, and I kept watching it like 10 times straight. Went to bed, woke up, watched it again. So I am going to tell you, I absolutely loved the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer and the international trailer, and I feel completely confident and comfortable that I'm going to really love this movie. I was worried about certain things, but seeing the trailer, Zendaya is definitely not playing Mary Jane. I'm happy about that. Michael Keaton looks like really a badass as the Vulture. I didn't see too much of the Shocker, but I like the interaction between Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and Tom Holland. So I am 100% on board with Spider-Man Homecoming. What did you think?
Spider-Man isn't my favorite. Batman is. But watching this, it doesn't look like a proper origin story. I don't know if it was intended to be or not, was it?
I don't think so. No origin, just going right through it because
straight into it. But as you said, I liked the bits with Robert Downey Jr. Michael Keaton does look very good as the Vulture, very menacing, especially in human form. The outfit what I saw of it looked a bit cheesy, but it looks more like a kid's film in a way, more than Spider-Man 1 and 2 and 3 did of the Tobey Maguire trilogy. It looks more like kid friendly, so the outfit looked a bit cheesy. Even the outfit on Spider-Man looks more cheesy, I thought, actually, but it looked really good. Zendaya looked all right. I just see her as this Disney girl. She, how she started out and all that sort of stuff. I just still see her as that.
I don't see her as Mary no.
Yeah. But
which I think she's not going to be. It's just Marvel was taking that opportunity to hype. And they're like, oh, why not? Why can't she be married? And all along she wasn't, I guess. But they were just using that. Like they used anything, hyping Captain America being a Nazi Hydra agent or something. That's just whatever. I am going to say I'm glad that Staten Island, New York gets recognition. The Staten Island ferry that I always take, it was nice that the Vulture or the Shocker, I guess, ripped it to pieces and Spider-Man had to hold the Staten Island ferry together.
Oh, was it the Staten Island ferry?
Yes, I travel on that. Yeah, I have many a video on the Staten Island ferry, and it's nice to know. It would have been nice if I would have been on that at the time. It was pretty damn cool seeing my boat there getting ripped in half. I mean, it's not all good fun, I guess, Disney and Sony-wise. But, yeah, that was really cool. I really loved that at all. And Sharon loved it, too. She's like, yes, this is not on ferry. Even my son, Joe, he was like, oh, my God, Dad. I'm like, I know. So that was really cool. Really freaking cool. And today, they announced the sequel. The day of the we're basically not even 24 hours the trailer has aired. And they announced the sequel. July 5th, 2019 is the next Spider-Man movie. So
what's it going to be called? Spider-Man Homecoming?
No. This is because they're in the Homecoming dance, but it's not going to be called Homecoming. No. I mean, back in the day, well, I don't know if it was a year ago, somebody had said something to me swearing up and down that the next one, he gets the Venom suit. I really hope that's not the case. We need to have him as Spider-Man a while before he gets the Venom symbiote. But they were saying up and down that's definitely happening. The second one, I don't know yet. That's not confirmed. I would be happy with anybody else other than Venom at this point because you have to build Spider-Man up. If you keep making them every 2 years, that's even more fantastic because then you can pop a couple out, then maybe bring Venom in by 4. So, all right. And Chris is going to come in. Very nice. So let's send him in. Let me just get the link to this. No? All right. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Yeah, it did look good for a Spider-Man film. As I said, I'm not a huge fan of Spider-Man, but I'm impressed with what I saw, actually.
Yeah. It's funny how they had the Avengers, like the bank robbers had the Avengers masks on.
Yeah.
That actually happened in the comic. So they took
it
directly from the comic, which was pretty funny. So, and then we saw you saw the Planet of the Apes, the War of the Planet of the Apes trail?
I haven't seen it, but I saw an article talking about the film saying it's going to be more brutal. And
it looks good. It really looks good. Woody Harrelson looks like a badass, man. I guess he's the villain, or is it the hero of the movie? We shouldn't be rooting for the apes. I mean, that's the whole thing. But,
it's funny because in those sorts of films, you do find yourself ending up rooting for the apes. It's like with King Kong. I found myself rooting for King Kong, rather than...
Well, the originals, they portrayed the apes as evil.
Yeah.
And in this one, they're portraying Caesar as not evil. So it's kind of like, but if they win, human race is done. So it's like, you don't know who to root for, really.
I think it's because as humans, we sympathize with animals anyway.
Now, more than before.
It's not like putting a human against a robot, because you can't really sympathize with a robot, can you?
Yeah, no.
It's like with an animal, it's probably a bit different. So,
yeah.
Interesting.
So now, there was also another piece of information. It was leaked that we're going to have a cameo appearance in Alien Covenant by James Franco.
Right. Okay.
And I'm like, that's interesting. Now, I know what everybody's saying. He doesn't always do Seth Rogen movies, drug addicts, whatever. He's been doing some serious roles lately. I know it's hard to believe, mostly comedy, but he's supposed to be a captain fighting the aliens, I guess. For some reason, people are just not going to take him seriously, I guess. I mean, I don't know if you knew this, Connor, but he was in the Planet of the Apes movie.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it was serious. So
I do remember him as a serious actor. I've never really seen him as a Seth Rogen sort of...
he was... I loved him in, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
As, Harry Osborn. But then he got always comedy, and it got so many damn comedy movies that it was like, you can't see him as anything else. In fact, he's in a comedy movie now where, and then it's like weird, he bounces back and forth, Yeah. I mean, I still didn't see that Stephen King did a sci-fi novel, 1963, and he's supposed to be a time traveler.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking of, actually.
So it was on Hulu, but I don't have Hulu, so I got to watch that. But, he's doing a lot of different things, so that's that. All right. I think Chris might have difficulties. Oh, no, there he is. Chris. Hello.
Hey, you guys there?
You got in okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're live. This is the Everything Show.
What's going on?
And we were talking about Spider-Man Homecoming and Alien Covenant and War of the Planet of the Apes. So what would you like to talk about?
What were you guys talking about?
Those three. I mean, you can just hop back and forth. I mean, right now we were just talking about James Franco and Alien Covenant. But
yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I hope he gets eaten. I don't like James
Maybe. Franco. I mean, he might get eaten. And he might be in there like 4 minutes.
Well, xenomorphs don't eat people, so I guess...
Well, killed or impregnated.
I hope he gets, killed by a xenomorph.
Is a proper term face hugged? Or not really?
I guess that could be a verb.
It could be face hugged. Or,
yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right, so that's James Franco. What about War of the Planet. Well, is it? It's War of the Planet of the Apes.
War
Right?
of the Planet of the Apes.
What do you
I think
of
it
that?
looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I saw the trailer. I didn't watch it when it first came out, but I saw it today. I thought it looked good. I mean, I've liked the other two that they've made, so I expect this one to. Excuse me. I expect this one to probably be as good as those or better, hopefully.
Right. Now, I wanted to ask you. Well, you know what? First, let's jump into Spider-Man Homecoming. So, we heard you just told me that it's getting a sequel.
Yeah, apparently the sequel's confirmed for July 5th, 2019.
And of course, it's not going to be called Spider-Man Homecoming 2. So, but I mean, what do you think it's going to be about?
I couldn't even guess at this point.
I mean, I heard a rumor that Homecoming ends with Aunt May dating Otto Octavius. But I don't know if that's true, because that would mean that Doc Ock would be the villain of the second one, which will be interesting because he was the villain of the second Spider-Man movie also. So,
I don't know. I'm more concerned about the first one because I think the first one looks good. I think that trailer was a pretty decent trailer. It set up exactly what it had to set up, but it didn't introduce too much of like the plot or what's going on. We have a general idea of what's going on, but we don't know specifics.
Right.
Which is the right way to go when making a trailer. And I thought it looked really good. I definitely got a Spider-Man vibe from Spider-Man, and he was definitely a good Peter Parker in the trailer as well. So
now, one more thing before we go, because then we'll do something else after that. I sent you a message yesterday that I heard about Cloverfield 3, which is the God particle.
Yeah, it moved.
Massively delayed 8 months.
Yeah.
Why is that the case?
I think because they know that if it comes out around that time, while I think it will still be a success, I think they thought, hey, let's move it to a time when not a lot of stuff is coming out, and we'll make more money that way. I think it's a smart move. I really think it is because, let's be honest, they haven't started marketing this movie yet.
Yeah.
And it was coming out pretty quickly in 2017.
And we just went over the list the other night, and we were saying, right, this should move, this should move, this should move.
Yeah. And I was really hoping that I saw an article that said that Kong moved, but I didn't. But if Cloverfield 3, a God particle, they're calling it right now. I know that there was another article that said they took it off the list completely. And I think the reason for that has to do with the fact that I don't think the movie is going to be called God Particle.
Right.
The original title for 10 Cloverfield Lane was The Cellar.
Yeah.
I think that's how they not marketed it, but that's how it was. That's how it appeared before that first trailer came out.
Right.
So I think God Particle is a test title or working title,
which nobody likes.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
But if they're going in the direction I think they're going, it makes sense. But I think they're probably changing it because I mean the original title for Cloverfield was what was it? The original working title for Cloverfield was Cloverfield, and then they said, well, that's not the name of the movie. Then it went through a bunch of different titles, and then they finally settled on Cloverfield.
Right.
So it's kind of this is the pattern for these movies. So I'm expecting to hear God Particle changes to something with Cloverfield in its title, closer to the release date.
Speaking of that film, what involvement does J.J. Abrams have with it?
I think he's the producer.
Right, because I think he's moving over to TV because I just saw an article like 10 minutes ago saying that him and HBO have teamed up again after Westworld for a new sci-fi TV series. It's an Odyssey one about some humans colonizing another planet. It's called Glare, I think it is. Yeah, Glare. Development is underway. He's a executive producer on it. J.J. Abrams is Bad Robot and HBO are re-teaming for another sci-fi drama series project, Glare. I'm catching up with Westworld. It is really very good. I think J.J. Abrams is really suited to TV.
Yeah.
I think he would be great.
Well,
he did Fringe, and he was involved. Wasn't he involved with Lost as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mean, you're saying he's an executive producer, so I mean that's basically he's getting the money for it, right? The backing.
Yeah, sort of.
I mean, is he writing it too, or is he like
No,
kind of?
Well,
he's sort of the person that has to sell it, isn't he?
Okay.
yeah. I mean, looking at God Particle, it is a he is producing it with another one with a woman named Lindsay Weber. So I mean, it is going through oh my God Particle is going through Bad Robot. So
Right.
I mean, it doesn't. I think that was the big tipping point. I can't speak tonight.
That's
tipping
all right.
point. I think it's the tipping point for a lot of people. When they saw that, they were like, "Oh, if this is God Particle, it probably has to go with Cloverfield.
Right.
It has to go into that universe." And then there was an article that came out that said, yes, it is the third anthology movie, I guess, because that's what these movies are going to be.
Right.
But there's a possibility that this one might connect the other two and itself by
Right.
default. So it's like, that sounds interesting. Especially if you know the backstory of the Cloverfield monster, it does make sense if it's something like that.
Now he's also has a hand in Star Trek 4 because he's so psyched about it. They got Simon Pegg writing it with someone else.
Does he have a hand in Rogue One?
No.
Because I know he has a hand in Episode 8, doesn't he?
I know he stuck his hands remastering the original Phantasm. And I believe, and I could be wrong, that that's a kind of thing to say that now that we had Ravager released, that he's going to put out a reboot of Phantasm himself, because he's a fan of it. I heard him doing Twilight Zone at some point in the movie. So other than that, Star Trek 4 he's producing, and the other stuff you guys were talking about, I don't know about anything else.
He's definitely busy. He's definitely going to be busy the next few years.
Yeah. So
he even said that like he's obviously read the script for Episode 8, and I remember that he had a quote saying that reading it, he wishes that he could have been the director.
Yeah.
Apparently it's that good, which
Yeah.
makes me excited for Episode 8.
Now, what were you telling me about the Ghost?
Oh yeah, there was a Rogue One, and this isn't a spoiler, so it's not.
Okay.
It's not really a big deal. It was in one of the TV spots, but somebody slowed down some of the footage for one of the TV spots, specifically the space battle that nobody knows about, that nobody knew was going to be in this movie, and the Ghost, which is the name of the ship from Star Wars Rebels. It's the ship that the main characters use. They found the Ghost in the TV spot.
Mm.
So that is implying that it is just an Easter egg, but the fact that it's there, it's almost implying that that crew was a part of this battle, even if we don't see them.
Okay.
So that's pretty big, because that could have it has implications more for the show, because I guess maybe they could leap off of that in the next half of the season or in the next season.
Right.
You know, they could say that maybe they were involved in that battle and they saw, whatever the hell is in that battle. I'm assuming the Death Star might be involved or something like that. But I was pretty interested, and you can find that TV spot online, and you can find the pictures as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the TV spot footage. It hasn't been edited in the pictures that they have. So, I mean, it's there. So I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting that they have that specific ship, rather than, you could put any ship really in Star Wars, and I don't think anybody would notice. But the fact that that ship is there, it's like, that's interesting.
Yeah. Is that the IMAX TV spot?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was very good. One thing that irked me about it, though, was that they've edited one of the lines, because I think Krennic says, the power we are dealing with is immeasurable. And in one of them, he says awesome instead of immeasurable. And it just sounds really off. I'm hoping that that's just like an edit for that specific TV spot and not in the actual movie, because I think immeasurable sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
But who knows?
All right. So last thing of this podcast anyway. Sunday is the anniversary of my first video. So we're going to have a little anniversary party here. We're going to do some podcasts and see what happens. It should be fun. It's going to be more people than usual. So I'm going to try to make it myself available 12 o'clock in the afternoon which would be, I guess, what, 5? Is it 5 your time, Connor? Or?
Yeah, 5.
5. I mean, I will try to do earlier than that, maybe 10. And if people are not around throughout the day, I'll try to do podcasts here or there. We'll do some Rehovians, everything shows, and there you go. So if not, I'll see you during the week. So and then we got Walking Dead also on Sunday, the mid-season finale. So we'll see what happens there. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye for now.